This video is sponsored by Rise of Gunpla, the first Bandai shop in France. Hi, I'm Nico and welcome to my channel. So for today's video, I will be sharing a short and quick tutorial about masking your Gunpla parts for painting. In my last video, I mentioned how I don't like masking and I would rather hand paint, but there are instances where masking is a better option. Like for example, I have here a perfect grade GPO1 conversion kit, and as you can see, it's pretty big. And while I can still hand paint, I do not want to risk it. Hand painting large surfaces is not the easiest thing to do. So masking Gunpla parts can be a bit daunting for beginners, but with some practice, it can be done successfully. So what you need is a fresh new blade. I cannot stress this enough, but please use a fresh blade every single time you do masking. I don't care if you think your blade is still sharp, because trust me, it's not. Then of course, you need the masking tape. This usually comes in yellow and there are various sizes available for whatever you need them for. I don't suggest using the white masking tape you get in the school supply section. I guess those are cheaper, but it's too sticky for Gunpla. It's too thick, so it's harder to cut into as well. And sometimes it can leave the sticky, gummy residue that's hard to remove. So when it comes to masking tape, the most common and reliable one is from Tamiya. So if you can, I'd suggest getting that. And then you also need a barbecue stick or a toothpick. With the toothpicks, you want the rounded ones instead of like the flat ones because those are better. So the first thing you have to do is think about the design you want to achieve and plan accordingly. Usually, you already have a reference. For me, I'm copying this painted version of this conversion kit, and as you can see, I need to cover the middle part because that needs to stay white. So a tip that works for me is to always work from the lightest color to the most darkest, especially when it comes to masking. This is to preserve the integrity of the light colors. Painting a dark color over a lighter one is way easier instead of the other way around. But sometimes it can't be helped. Sometimes you have a dark blue part and you have to apply yellow or red on top of it. What you can do is mask the area, airbrush on a white or gray primer on top before painting the yellow or red, so you don't get a dull color. This takes an extra step, which is why I recommend going from light to dark. Next, you want to apply your masking tape. Sometimes people will stick the tape on their skin first so that it's not too sticky. But for me, it's not really a necessary step. I just stick the tape directly on the part. So there's no exact way to apply the tape, but for me, I like to apply it from the outside going inside. I would apply a strip of tape over the edge of where I want to cut and then work my way from that. And then I take my barbecue stick and use that to push in the tape into the groove or panel line. This enables you to clearly see where you need to cut, and for beginners, it's also a helpful guide for your art knife to avoid slipping. So this is why I don't recommend using anything sharper than a barbecue stick, because sometimes it might cut into the tape prematurely or ruin the tape, and you don't really want that. Gently use your art knife to cut away the tape. I like to start in the middle of the tape because sometimes when you start on the edge, the tape doesn't cut right away and instead will just be pushed by the art knife, then it will bunch up. So to avoid that, I cut in the middle and then work my way out until the tape is cut. I recommend doing a second pass just to make sure that the tape is cut all the way across because sometimes you remove the excess tape and it's not cleanly cut and it's just such a hassle. And then just remove the excess tape by using a pair of tweezers or the back of your art knife. You can also just use your hand to peel it off. So earlier I mentioned that sometimes masking is a better option than hand painting. And another reason where masking is the better option is when you need clean, sharp, and precise lines. Unless you have the steadiest hand in the world, hand painting a perfect stripe on your Gunpla will be next to impossible. And of course, when it comes to patterns, hexagons, checkered, and a bunch of cool pattern stuff, it will be quite hard to do repeatedly with hand painting. So in those instances, masking is a better option. By the way, if you haven't seen my last video, it's all about hand painting small details on your Gunpla. Check it out after this video. And And then once I have all of the edges done, all of the outer lines are done, I proceed to apply tape to the rest of the area that I need to cover, cutting away excess tape as I go. This is what I meant when I said that I like working from outside going inside. So one thing that I don't like with masking is how I use a lot of tape. I think that's just me, but yeah, I can go through a lot. If you've noticed, I ran out of the thicker tape and I haven't had the chance to buy another one. But if you have those, it will make your life easier, especially if you're masking big parts like this. And there we have it. Once you have all your parts ready, it's time to start painting. You can paint as you normally would, either by spray cans or airbrush, and then when the paint is dry, you can proceed to peel off the tape. I don't recommend leaving the tape on for longer. If you can remove it right after painting, that would be best. This is because leaving the tape on for too long may make it harder to remove, and may leave the sticky residue on the surface of the Gunpla part. This is especially true if the tape is exposed to sunlight or heat. If you need to keep the tape on for an extended period of time, make sure that the tape you are using or you use is a reliable one like Tamiya, because it has less adhesive residue and are designed to peel off easily without damaging the surface. However, it's still important to remove the tape as soon as you've finished painting to prevent any issues. Another tip is to lift up the tape and pull it back on itself slowly at a 45-degree angle. This prevents the paint from being pulled up with the tape. Don't rush and don't lift it straight out. And there you have it. Like I said, masking can be a scary process, but if done right, you'll achieve satisfying results. So yeah, that's about it for today's video. I hope you found this useful, and if you have any questions, feel free to comment them down below. Before the video ends, I wanted to let you guys know that I have a Patreon account. You can see work in progress photos and follow updates on my GBWC entry. It's a way to support the channel. And another way you can support the channel is by using my discount code Nico Suratos to get 5% off your next purchase from Rise of Gunpla. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you soon in the next one. Bye!